all set?
Thanks. All right, we're going to start the meeting tonight. It's March 28th, regular session of the school committee. All those who are so inclined, please rise for the pledge. Pledge of allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, so things are going to be a little quick tonight because we have some illnesses on our board, so there's just a few of us left here. So love of learning, we're skipping because the superintendent isn't here, so we'll just go right to committee comments. Noelle, you want to start?
Sure. So in the high school, quarter 3 grades close next week, so we'll be entering into our final quarter. The girls' tennis team has our first game next week, April 5th, so we're all very excited for that. And today was the French National Honor Society induction, which was very nice to attend. It was very beautiful.
There's a French National Honor Society, isn't that nice? Mr. Giantis?
Thanks. I was actually going to mention the National Honor Society ceremony that I know you were at too, Suzanne. Great ceremony. I thought it was really a nice feature that you heard a little bit of a bio on each of the inductees. Really made it, I think a very special ceremony. And just to Sam at the end there, I made this comment to Suzanne afterwards, and it's like when I saw you playing the piano, I'm like, is there anything this guy can't do? It was really, I was just, really impressed by that. So kudos to you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, quite the Renaissance man.
That's
Sorry.
it, Suzanne.
It's great.
No, I am actually all set. Thank you.
And Sam?
So we had MCAS, ELA. Yesterday was the last day. So we had 2 late starts, which is good. I'll add it. And then this past weekend, the robotics team, we won our second, it was our second district event, but we won the event.
Wow.
And so right now we're on the cusp, planning on going to district championships, which is very exciting.
Where's that?
It is in, I think it's in Southern Mass. It's far. It's like a 2-hour drive, but yeah, we don't know for sure until Monday. But like the way the rankings are looking right now, it's in our favor.
That's fantastic.
Which is really good. It doesn't happen every year, so it's good.
It's like when you think about it, it's such a new team. Like I think it started maybe a year before I started as superintendent. Oh yeah, sorry Pam. I think it only started. I mean that's
2012, I think.
Yeah, that's
it's
like
relatively
so recent.
new.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Like how far you guys have come, considering the teams that do really well are the teams that have had years because they've been stocking up on all their parts.
Yeah,
right?
We're lucky to have really good mentors. Mr. Clarke is still involved. I know he's not here right now, but him, Mr. Casey, Mr. Wildman, and then outside mentors. So yeah, we're really lucky to have.
Are people coming from GE Aviation?
Yeah, so we have one of our mentors named Walshy, and he's really helpful with things like that. But yeah, like Wildman, his first year being a mentor, Mr. Casey, Crocker took like a bit of a step away, but he's still very involved. So yeah, we're all super appreciative for all of them because it would not have been possible without any of them. But yeah, super exciting.
So awesome.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's
all right.
great.
Just congratulations to our 2 students here who are National Honor Society's inductees.
Excellent. Congratulations, both.
So yeah, they both are very impressive. It was really fun to listen to everything you guys both do. It's like when they're reading off those things, I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys are so busy. That's pretty awesome. So that was fun. And I just wanted to say to John and Glenn, I don't know if you read the Metco message. So there's something coming up in May where our state representatives, it's the Metco's taking their show on the road to advocate for themselves and for money.
Yeah.
And it's going to be, I'll give you the exact date.
Okay.
But there's a day where districts in the North Shore, like Swampscott, Salem, our North Shore districts are going to meet with Armini and Crichton, but also some other reps from some other communities.
Right.
And it's like an avocation tour.
Okay.
But I think we should send some district people
Absolutely.
in addition to at least one of us or
Yeah,
something.
absolutely. Yeah, just let me know the date.
Yeah, because I know Amy was gonna maybe own
Yeah.
Medco, our
Okay.
liaison person, but I think,
the more the
I think
merrier.
more
if
the
we can.
merrier.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's something, yeah, I don't know, I
Yeah.
don't know details yet, but I just
Okay.
saw it in the Metco message today, and I thought we should, I'm gonna get you guys the dates so you can
Great.
put it on the
Definitely.
calendar.
perfect.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that's what I have. The superintendent's report, since Pam isn't here, it's gonna be very abbreviated. I think the most important thing was the last day of school is gonna be June 13th. I think people, wanted to know that date with the snow day and whatever, that's the last day of school.
Is that the earliest you can remember?
It does seem early.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, it's like, it's gonna be early for the parents and late for the kids. So I see Max is here, and he has a capital update. Hi, Max. You're on mute, can you share your presentation?
I can, yes.
Hold on there, Max, we can't hear you.
Oh, you can't hear me?
Still can't hear you, Max. Oh,
Max, hold on one sec.
Yep.
try again, Max.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can.
We got you.
Loud and clear.
Good, sorry about that. Let me try again, let me share my screen. Can you see, my
Yep.
presentation?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, great. I actually have two quick agenda items tonight. One is a quick school capital update, and that's what I'll lead off with. I'll try to keep it brief. So just wanted to give a quick update on where we stand in the capital process, and then talk about a couple of big projects in the future here. Just a quick reminder, town capital process, there's a multi-year capital plan that includes all school capital intermingled with all the town capital projects. All projects are submitted by department heads to town administration annually, along with a scoring worksheet. The projects are then reviewed by the town administrator, capital improvement committee, the finance committee, and the select board. In this particular cycle, all projects have gone through the town administrator's office, through the capital improvement committee, and the finance committee is currently reviewing. I'm actually meeting with the finance committee on Monday night to discuss capital and budget. And then final approval for all projects generally occurs at town meeting in May, unless it's a special town meeting project. And funding typically is available for July 1st for capital projects. So I just wanted to highlight the capital projects we have on the plan for funding in fiscal year 25. These are all projects that have made it through the other rounds of approvals and are currently being reviewed by the finance committee for FY25. We have the electrification of the Fieldhouse HVAC system. This is a project that's coupled with another HVAC electrification at the pumping station next to the police station. We have a project for high school sprinkler repairs. Unfortunately, we've had a number of leaks over the years with the high school sprinkler system, and the town has it on the capital plan, $25,000 for each of the next 3 years to keep kind of working through those leaks and hopefully get to a good position with that. Bottle fill stations. We've done a number of bottle fill stations at the high school and middle school, and we're going to look to do a bunch more, in addition to bottle fill stations at other town building locations. It's one project that's shared between town and school. So we'll get the number ramped up at both the high school and the middle school, which people love these. They're really a big improvement over the old-fashioned water bubblers. So good project. The middle school lower lot paving, that's something that we are planning to do over this summer to get that lower lot in good condition. It's going to be used a lot more heavily going into this fall, so it's a much needed project. Middle school security upgrades. This is primarily focusing on the vestibule. We currently have design funding on that and are working through a design process. This is basically to add a layer of storefront at the entrance to the middle school, so that there will be a vestibule similar to what is at the high school, what we'll have at the new elementary school. These are great. They're much better for energy efficiency, and most importantly, that is how all schools handle security at the entrance these days. To just have one layer of doors at a primary entrance to the school is not modern at all. There's another project, the high school auditorium upgrade. We've been working closely with Joe. This is, Joe's definitely driving this project, and facilities is supporting the process. This is really a multi-year project. There's already been a major audio and camera phase, and there's actually two phases on the schedule. One for this year, which will be the stage flooring, refinishing, staining, and replacement of a number of the auditorium curtains. We do also have a project that will follow, that has been pushed to the following year, for major upgrades to the lighting in the auditorium. Very, very significant upgrade to that system. There's also two tech projects on the capital plan for FY25, interactive whiteboards and school network upgrades. The school network upgrades are the E-rate half grant funded projects that are on here almost every year for tech and network upgrades. And interactive whiteboards is a project that Latanya and her team have been continuing to roll out and invest in across the district. So these are the projects we have on the plan, hoping to secure funding at town meeting for FY25. Any questions on these, or should I roll to the next slide?
So Max, this is John. Just a quick question on the whiteboards and the network upgrades. You said district-wide, but on the whiteboards, is that like more in the elementary schools or the middle schools, or is it kind of spread all over? And I guess kind of the same question with the network upgrades.
Yeah, so the whiteboards, well, nothing will be at the elementary school level because of the new building. It will have no immediate capital needs. So I think it would be fair to say that both of these projects will be targeting the middle school and the high school.
Okay.
I can't speak to the disbursement between those two schools. Latanya could definitely add context to that. But I do know over time, both of these rollouts have been at both buildings.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Anything?
Oh, that's great. actually.
Max, does that lower school paving lot, it's just the lower lot, not the side lot too? Is there?
It's the lower lot, and potentially a small section of the side lot. Not a full repaving of the side lot, but we are reviewing the potential to add about 10 spaces by expanding that lot slightly. It's still a little bit up in the air though.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of getting at. If there is a possibility to have some more parking spaces up there.
Yeah, Jason and I were looking at a potential location. We just need to roll Gino into it and see if we can make it happen.
That's a really good question. Max, if I could just ask, on the lower lot, are they gonna, how many spaces are you thinking gonna be down there, figuring while you're doing that, you'll reconfigure the lines?
So I don't have a full answer to that question. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
The driver of this is not to gain spots at the lower lot. It's just that the condition of the lower lot is so poor that we just want to bring it up to an acceptable level. I don't know that the parking layout down there is necessarily inefficient, and I don't know that we would be able to pick up spots. We know we're going to need to use them just with the elementary school parking in the side lot.
Right.
And so that all of the middle school parking kind of needing to shift over to that side.
Right.
We are looking at one location in the lower lot to maybe squeeze out a few additional spots. It's in an area that's sort of just kind of a wasteland right now, so.
Okay.
Like moving the storage stuff off the lot too?
All gone already. We
Oh,
got
is
ahead
it?
of that
That's a great
last year. Yep.
And so Max, I remember meeting with you down there once before. Is there a plan to sort of section off where the rail trail is gonna go? Or is that just, we're just
So-
waiting for that?
So we're definitely going to add some sidewalk because there's like no sidewalk that leads from the upper lot or the rail
Right.
trail
Right.
down. Jason and I were just looking at that, and we think that the most sensible location for that is sort of closest to the tennis courts, riding along there. So you could go from the upper lot down and connect into the fields, and then you could also kind of safely get over to the middle school or to the where the rail trail connection
Okay.
would be right there. So we don't know precisely what the rail trail design will ultimately have in store for that area, because the rail trail does go directly through there. But I think what we're doing is definitely an upgrade.
Great.
Yeah, no, it sounds good.
Excellent.
All right. You have more?
Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, just a couple more slides. Just wanted to talk about the two big projects that are on our radar for the future. Just want to talk a little bit about the Clarke School. Obviously, at the end of this school year, the Clarke School will be vacant as all of the students and staff are moving to the new elementary school for the fall. Over the summer, we're going to be using Clarke for some minimal storage during the move, and the rec department will be utilizing it over the summer, some parts of the first floor. The district's plan for a while now has been to utilize Clarke eventually for administration offices, including the superintendent's office, the business office, and student services, along with the home of the preschool, which is currently also located at the middle school. Couple years ago, I think last year, town meeting did fund the preliminary design for the Clarke renovation. So this is already appropriated funding, and we are working towards an RFP to advance that design. But today, the Clarke renovation project is currently sitting on the town's capital plan for funding in FY '27. So it's an active conversation about the timing of the project and the timing of potential occupancy of the building. It's something that has been shifting a bit as the project has shifted a couple times over the years. We don't really want to see this building sit. We all know that empty buildings are not good, and they deteriorate quickly. So, we will be on top of that, but there's active considerations of maybe trying to get some of the users into the space sooner, and potentially significantly sooner, to kind of keep the building utilized and at the same time free up space at the middle school. The renovation project, it is important. There's been some work done at the building over the last decade, which is good. It's one of the more invested buildings in the town, really. But there's a lot of needs too, because it is an old building. It's never had a significant renovation. So what we sort of anticipate for the eventual renovation would be layout improvements for programming. That's interior layout, solar, PV, EV charging, new parking area for the occupants, envelope improvements. That would be extensive: roof, masonry, windows, exterior doors. That really would encompass a lot. Electrical, plumbing, mechanical upgrades on the inside. The plumbing in the building really hasn't been touched much, other than a couple of bathroom projects. Mechanical, we would look towards a more energy efficient system, or at least components of the HVAC to be more energy efficient. Full accessibility compliance. There has been some really good accessibility work done at the building with the lift, the stage lift, and some of the ramps, but it doesn't mean that it's 100%, which is a misconception. So there is probably more to bring it to that full compliance. Interior finish improvements. This is one thing where you go into the building and a lot of the finishes are still really original, and there would be a desire to bring them up to a more modern level, as well as technology, security, and life safety improvements. So it's a lot, but we would get really one shot at it and would want to do it right, and that's the vision.
And Max, there's no money coming from the MSBA yet for these kind of projects, right? Like they're not.
No, we have checked, and even with the preschool occupancy, there's no potential for MSBA funding. It's only K through 12
right.
for MSBA funding.
Max, are you overly concerned that, where it is on the capital plan for FY27, that, could it be pushed back even later? Because I agree with you, having a near empty building just is not the best thing in the world.
Yeah, I think that's a consideration. Town financial pressures are real, and the debt service is a real, challenge that we all contend with. And I don't think it's a matter of like not wanting to do some of these projects. I think it's a matter of balancing the capital plan. So I do think that it's something we should be considering. Yes.
I think also just because pushing this back pushes the middle school back too,
Right.
because we need to get these kids out of the middle school and the administration out so they can start those projects.
Right.
I mean, it's like sort of like dominoes.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that, actually.
Absolutely. I think that's really, really poignant, and I think a big part of the reason why the Clarke project is so important to us is because we do see it as a precursor to the middle school project. And if it was just its own singular project, kind of weighed against everything else in town, it may not, be deemed as important. But when you layer in the middle school domino that falls after Clarke, that's when it, in my mind, really does rise up the board.
Right. So you were saying, I'm sorry if you're repeating, I apologize. The preschoolers will go there starting next August, September?
No, they won't go this fall. Those are active conversations to decide when the appropriate time will be to make the move. We at one point we had been targeting fall of 25.
Right.
There's some consideration to maybe targeting like January of 25. We at one point when the project had been just pushed 1 year, we were thinking of just waiting and doing the whole project, which I was advocating for that for a while. Because I really wanted to take the opportunity to have this empty building, do the project, and not be disturbing occupants, not be shuffling people all around the town multiple times. But as it's playing out, the calculus is changing a bit. So we're having active conversations about that exact question.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions on Clarke?
No.
Good.
Okay, and finally, I did just want to speak a little to the middle school. Perfect transition from Clarke to the middle school. We haven't been ignoring the middle school. We're really wary of making the same mistake that was made with the elementary schools, where there's this project that is on everyone's radar and that causes us to not invest in the buildings at all, and just kind of be hyper focused on this project that could be a decade away. And we don't want to see the middle school degrade at the same rate that some of the elementary school buildings did. I think we all saw that. So we have actually been investing in the middle school. I already talked earlier about the the two projects that we're doing with the lower lot and the front entry vestibule. And just over the course of the last few years, we've replaced a large component of the roof, almost the entire roof except for what's under the solar panels. We have replaced the entire fire alarm system with a modern fire alarm system just last summer. Along with that project, we added in a BDA, which is a modern life safety feature that the building just did not have before. We did an extensive build out for some office space in one of the old shop areas. And we have over time, through the Green Communities Grant, invested deeply in the BMS system, which is like the brains behind the HVAC system, which has given us a tremendous amount of more control over the HVAC system and able to kind of see what's going on. Even though the system itself is quite dated, our visibility and control over it has improved with those projects. And then we have, some other smaller, although, some pretty big projects on the horizon. I spoke to the parking lot project earlier. With things on the capital plan shifting out a bit from what we were anticipating, we are going to be looking to submit for a window replacement. I just don't think, with where the major renovation is slotting in on the plan, with the possibility that it will shift a little bit more over time, as Glenn pointed out, I don't think it would be prudent to not replace some windows at this building, just given the state they're in, how we've been trying to kind of piece it together, to think about not replacing at least some of these windows, but probably all of them, and trying to get another 5+ years out of what we have it's just not realistic. So that's a big project that we're going to be advancing soon. And also a phone system upgrade project to bring the phones, and there's probably some other technology and security upgrades with cameras that we're gonna have to escalate and do sooner than the renovation project. We were trying to hold off on some of these because it is better to do them all at once and get the grant funding, and they have connectivity with each other. But we need to balance that, and sometimes the needs are present, and we just can't wait. So that's kind of how we're thinking right now. But certainly, major renovation is on the radar. It's probably the next most important project in this town after this elementary school. It's out there. It's going to be expensive. It's going to be a political thing, and we're going to have to work for it, just like the elementary school took a lot. But it's good to start talking about it now and start building momentum. And I'm sure it won't be a linear path, because these types of things aren't. But we got to get on the road towards it, and it's needed. It would be a mistake to not be advancing towards that.
I think part of the conversation, where I'm thinking is, I know there can't be a building committee yet, for this, but there should be a lot of thought given to what windows are going in and where they're going in ahead of whatever renovations are being done, so that the talk is always we're putting in windows that we can take out and use again in the new part of the building when it gets renovated, or things like that, because I think the more people hear that, I don't know. And I mean, I don't even know where the renovations are going to start in this building, but I know there's a newer part and an older part. It's just it's relative, I'm sure. But it just feels like you don't want to be replacing windows where those walls are coming down. But I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely a challenge, because we don't know what the project will look like, right? So we just kind of have to anticipate as best we can. With the windows, one thing that always irked me was this concept of putting in brand new windows and then cutting in holes to put window unit air conditioners in. I hate that concept. So one thing we've actually been thinking about and have talked about with some engineers is the idea of putting in a couple of heat pump systems for the areas that need air conditioning, so that we can supply them with air conditioning without using window units and still be able to replace the windows and not have to butcher them with air conditioning, window air conditioners. So that's one consideration. You know, like you said, Suzanne, trying to predict as much as possible like what the renovation could look like and try and not do things that will then get taken out, you know, shortly after, will definitely be, you know, something we'll have to look at.
So glad you're here, Max.
Yeah.
No problem. It's
No,
exciting.
like in the big picture too, not just here tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's great. And so, you're going ahead of the finance committee right now on Monday?
Yeah, I think at finance committee we'll likely be talking about FY25 projects, heading up to town meeting in May. I suspect that's what they'll be honing in on, and it's also the operating budget for town facilities as well. So I don't exactly know what that conversation will be, but that's what I'm anticipating.
But like the conversation is also going to be like these two really big projects are coming on, like sort of already thinking about moving, like figuring out how things are going to get financed, or like anticipating these, because like, so these future projects aren't on any sort of person's radar, are they?
I think they are.
I mean, no, like
officially.
like officially, like they're not part of like a capital plan, or are they?
They are. They're both on the town's capital plan. Yep. Definitely.
Oh yeah, I see that.
And
Reading that right
we've, you know, I've spoken about them to, I think every board that I've been in front of at some point over the last couple of years. We've talked to both of these projects, FinCom, CIC. I don't know if I've ever presented directly to select board on this, but I think they're aware of it, and I certainly know that like town leadership and obviously school leadership, you know, they know about it. But that's just the first step, right? Like there's conversations we need to have about like what is the next step? Like is it a committee? Like obviously wouldn't be the same sort of targeted school building committee that is like intimately linked with an MSBA process this early, but it
Right.
could be like the precursor to that, and I'm not sure.
Yeah, can I ask you a question? So you've lived this for many, many years. When do you think even a precursor committee should just get together and talk about vision and anything like that? Or,
Well, I mean, we're lucky in this town to have like 2 MSBA architects, actually 3 of them that I know of, you know, that are just, they could be a little bit of a brain trust, but also like, it's just really putting the cart in front of the horse, because whatever design team comes in or whatever feasibility study is done or anything that's, I mean, it's not going to be an MSBA project, so we're not going to have to jump through all those hoops, but I don't know, like it's.
Well, you mean the middle school, Suzanne?
No, I'm thinking like even Clarke, like just thinking about the best way to use that space interiorly, maybe with offices or
Right.
classrooms, like people thinking about the least amount of changes to get the biggest bang. And then the middle school too, like just looking at the building and thinking about where I don't know, with doing additions or doing renovations to it that make economical sense as well as educational sense. And I think like, I mean, the more we talk about it, you know how the ideas grow and change and get better, but at the end of the day, if we're some ad hoc committee, the design team, whoever gets hired is gonna, you know, I don't know. Like it's kind of a weird.
right, I agree.
Like there are smart people in this town that do this for a living, that it would be great to pick their brains. But, yeah, I don't know.
A lot of stuff, a lot. Max, this was great.
Oh, awesome! But I do like it.
Continue.
Yeah, that is that's the end of this presentation. So if there's any additional questions on any capital or really anything facilities related, I'd be happy to answer them.
All right, so next you have the boutique hotel license. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, let me explain precisely what that is. So the town has gone through a RFP process with the respect to the Hadley building, with the goal of selecting a developer to turn the building into a boutique hotel. There was an article or articles at town meeting last year that paved the way for that with the zoning. And that process has unfolded. They really got a robust response. We toured the building, it seemed endlessly, with different developers, showing them the potential. We're up on the roof. It's actually, it's such a spectacular view from the roof. It really, jaws drop when they get up there and they see that view of Boston. So again, that process played out. The town had a review committee and they selected a developer to advance the project. And right now they have negotiated a license agreement with that developer, which is Clearview on the document. And the objective of this agreement is to give the developer access to the Hadley building so that they can perform their due diligence as the town and developer kind of moves towards the final agreement for the developer to take control of the site after the school is no longer a school. So again, this document is really just that license agreement that will give the developer very narrow access. Obviously, there's language in there that does not permit them to come in during school hours. We're actually anticipating that the brunt of the work is going to occur over April vacation. And they have an obligation to notify us. We have the ability to fully supervise it at our discretion, and it's a necessary step in this process. And just because of the current control of the school building, the signers to the agreement are actually the school committee because it is a building that is currently controlled by the school committee.
I'm glad you said that because I was wondering why, if we're turning the building over, I just was wondering why the school was doing it, but now I read it wrong. I thought the terms of the lease were, it starts on September 1st, but you're saying it ends on September 1st, and that's when the town turns it over and makes, the term of the lease on the second page, it says, subject to the terms of Section 8 below, the terms of this lease shall expire on September 1.
Yeah.
So what happens in September 1? The town takes it over?
The important thing with this agreement is that their license expires on September 1. So I don't actually know with certainty the timing of the next phases of when school town transfer occurs or what their permanent title arrangement will be. That September 1st is important in that this license agreement only goes until then.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, it states clearly outside of school hours, and we're assuming school hours includes extended day?
Yes, any time that, and I think there's actually language in there that any sort of school activity within the building, and I also believe that we have the ability to deny access if we feel it wouldn't be appropriate. And license agreements are generally revocable as well. So it's sort of a necessary thing, but it doesn't really give them carte blanche to just do what they want.
Are they going in escorted or not?
I was just going to ask that.
Oh, sorry, I'm
Yeah,
I don't.
that's an excellent point. I was just going to ask it too.
Yeah, I just was wondering if.
Yeah. So again, most of this is going to happen over April break. I think we will. We'll feel that out a bit. I don't know that we're going to want to be there every second that they're there, but we'll certainly be there when they kicks off and be monitoring it. And if we deem that that it is appropriate for them to be fully escorted during April break. We'll have someone there. I'm expecting that that won't be the case, and hopefully, everyone has other things to do as well. So I wouldn't like to kind of lose someone for the entirety of their time. But if it warrants it, it warrants it, and we'll keep them there. So we're going to kind of play that by ear.
And Max, I think where, kind of adding on to what Suzanne was asking about, an escort, I think I was also just contemplating the scenario where maybe these folks are showing up kind of outside of a vacation, or maybe even during the school day or at the end of the school day. Oh, we just need to get in for a few minutes type of thing. Just to make sure that that scenario is not, an expectation they should have.
It definitely isn't. There's language in there about them needing to notify us in advance of any time that they will be needing access. So I totally share the feeling that would not be appropriate, and we wouldn't really tolerate that.
All right. And I have another question, and this is, full transparency a little bit, because I live right across the street, but I'm going to ask it anyway, is just looking at kind of the scope of work. I know during the discussions on which developer was going to get chosen, I know I spoke at the select board meetings about parking along Reddington Street along the residential side, not having dump trucks and work trucks parking next to the houses, parking on the side that's closest to Hadley. And again, I don't know what kind of vehicles or equipment these guys are bringing in, but again, that would be helpful if that could be communicated too. So if they are going to be parking out there, that it's along the Hadley side of the street, not the resident side of the street, on the opposite side.
Yeah, I expect that they'll be able to park entirely on site, but if there was a volume where there was need for street parking, we would definitely be able to, ask them to go over to the other side. I don't anticipate that. This is not going to be a massive operation.
Right, and just to be clear, I didn't take it that way either. It was just, I just wanted to throw it out there because I've been, kind of, saying, pretty much the same thing at those meetings. And, I don't recall if you were, online or at those meetings, but just so you hear it as well. It's something that, I know me and the neighbors are, quite adamant about. So we just want to make sure that stays on everyone's radar. So thanks.
And then Max, just to add, we want to make sure that we communicate with the superintendent's office so they can communicate with the administration over at Hadley, because it's still the middle of the school year. We want to give the educators plenty of time. If there's anything in their classrooms they don't want to leave there, there's probably not, but just to be on the safe side, we just want to make sure that level of communication is seamless.
Absolutely. Great point.
So Max, is this like at the superintendent's office? I'll just go sign it? Do we?
The document?
Yeah. It doesn't say we have to vote on it,
There's no vote, right? We just
right?
sign.
Yeah, there's no vote,
Okay,
so.
great.
Where, is it in town hall? Just tell me where it is and I can get there.
We can, I can have a copy at the superintendent's office for signing for Monday. I think it might be safe to take a vote though, because I do think with similar easements and licenses and real estate sort of agreements, my understanding, I'm not positive, is that there generally is a vote of the board, and then that is followed by the signatures on the document. So I think just to make sure we're dotting our i's and crossing our t's, I think it would be best to vote and simple language as authorizing the license agreement between the school committee and Clearview, as is presented in the packet.
Okay, but is this time sensitive? Like, I'm just
This
thinking,
is time sensitive.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm cognizant about, making sure we're not doing something we shouldn't be, since it doesn't say vote requested on here, and we haven't written that. We can take a vote, and then we could ask, KP about it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Sure.
I just don't, and if we need to take another vote, maybe we could, convene, a school committee meeting to take it in the next few days, if that doesn't work. But I'm just giving you that as a heads up, that I just, like, a little bit uncomfortable with taking a vote that doesn't say it on the agenda. But I appreciate.
I understand.
Are you more comfortable by just maybe trying to get to Kate? I know tomorrow's it's Good
No,
Friday.
I'm perfectly comfortable
Okay.
taking the vote, and
Yeah.
if Darren or someone at KP
Yeah.
says it's fine, then it's fine.
Great.
Is that
Yeah, I
a
like that.
conditional thing?
Huh?
Conditional thing? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, I just think we'll take a vote in favor of this, given that, we'll take a vote in favor of signing this license for the boutique hotel license, and, if it's good, if it's okay with our town legal, or school legal.
I'm fine with that. I have to kind of.
I'm okay with that.
It's, okay, so I will make a motion. I will make a motion that we sign it and conditionally approve the ability for the company that's going to renovate and build the hotel, go in there over April vacation and longer if they need to.
I'll second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, Max. Well, I'll talk to KP tomorrow.
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you for your time, Max.
Thank you.
All right, have a good night.
All right, and now we have the Director of Finance. Ms. Stella, you have the food service bid for us?
Yeah, so this is our last year with our current food service management contract, and so we went out to RFP for this contract. The proposals were due to us March 21st. We reviewed them, and I'm happy to present to the school committee the recommendation to award the food service management contract to Compass Group, also known as Chartwells. As the committee might know, Chartwells has been in the district for over 10 years. They provide a really great service, and so that's a one-year contract with Chartwells. However, we do have 4 one-year extensions to that contract, and that is dictated by the state. In fact, the vast majority of this procurement process and contract with food service management companies is dictated by the state to us. So we have very little wiggle room with this. The year 1 net profit that Chartwells submitted in their price proposal was $135,000.
You guys have questions?
No.
I have one question. Is this contract change at all because the service they're going to be providing at the new elementary school is significantly different than the services they're providing currently?
I mean, it doesn't change. So as part of, in the RFP, we had to spell out the whole new elementary school. We had to include the floor plans, all the plans for the kitchen, the equipment, how many lunches, how many staff we anticipated. So it will look, certainly it will look different for Chartwells next year, but the RFP process did speak to that.
Did we get any other proposals, just out of curiosity?
We did not.
It just always feels like it's like that. It feels like they have the market, but I don't know.
I mean, we did have another vendor come to there's a required pre-conference and walkthrough, and we did have another vendor come to that, but they did not submit documents.
So what do you need from us for this bid? Like, are you?
Well, and I just looked at your agenda and noticed that this is.
I know,
one of
I
the
know.
quotes. So nothing now, but the next meeting, just a vote to award the contract
Okay.
to Compass Group.
All right, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, and I know Amy wanted to hear a little bit about net school spending from you, but I think we'll just put that off and do that next time, because she's not here and we didn't really prep for that. So, yeah.
And I mean, I did email her back too, because net school spending, to really get into it, it can be a very lengthy technical conversation. So I don't know, depending on what she would like to discuss, if it's something that perhaps she just wants to come into my office and we can really kind of go through it in great detail.
Right.
Right, Cheryl and I are gonna talk on Monday, actually, about something similar, just so I can gain an understanding just about some of the technical sides of it all, but just to let you know, we're gonna talk on Monday.
All good. All right, anything else, Miss Stella?
That's it for me.
All right. Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, the next thing is the school committee updates, the chair updates. Those are my updates. We did have a tri-chair meeting the Friday after our meeting here, and yeah, I think I know I always say it went well, and you guys always say that, but I think that we talked about that sort of the $400 that were sort of the delta, and the town administrator and Ms. Stella were really working on language to provide an account for a general fund for facilities kind of expenses, and then also talking about funding the special ed reserve to the amount that we need.
Okay.
So those talks are continuing. I didn't hear anything at the select board meeting the other night, but we have some time before town meeting to make sure those warrants get on there.
As long as everyone keeps talking, that's a good
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, so that's good. And school, it's going great. Hopefully you guys watched that video of the inside of the building. It already looks like a completely different.
Looks like a school.
Like, it looks like a completely different building from
Yeah.
that video a month ago. It's like nuts how different it looks, but yeah. And I think we have nothing for policy, John, or?
Just like I said to you offline,
Yeah.
that the review is continuing on the older ones to bring them up.
Well, good.
I don't have this isn't a subcommittee thing, but we had talked last time that the school committee, I meant to mention this during my comment, I'm sorry, it just slipped my mind, about the school committee needs a liaison to the committee, and I'm happy to do that.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. So if you want to, I don't know.
You didn't just get the short end of the stick. You're
No, I
really
didn't
gonna-
get, no,
you're
I
really
am,
gonna commit
I am
to
volunteering to do
working on
that,
the
yeah.
election.
Yeah.
Or, yeah,
but-
no, I think we just have to, I think it's just fine if
Okay.
that's what you want to do.
Yeah,
That
that's
could
fine.
be your subcommittee assignment.
Yeah,
You're not
So-
going to fight them for it, right?
I'm sorry, this was the election thing? Is that-
yeah.
No, I'm not gonna fight.
You're
you.
like, oh my God.
Are you sure?
No.
No, I'll do that, and every time we meet, I'll make sure I send notes to everybody, just so we as a group kind of know where we all stand on that.
Yeah, I'm just
Attempting.
curious.
Yeah. I'm just really curious, that's.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be interesting
Yeah, I think it's
discussions
gonna
for
be
sure.
really interesting.
Yeah.
A lot of people have brought some really robust comments and conversations, and I
Right.
think any robust comment and conversation is a good one. So I will do that.
Okay, and the next thing is public comment, and I don't see anyone with their hands raised, or, so we're gonna skip right over that, baby. And actions and votes, the one vote we need to take is on the driver ed programming fee increase, and I'm just gonna read the memo from the superintendent. It says, as a reminder, last spring, the driver's education director, with the approval of the superintendent, presented a multi-year plan to increase the fees for our driver's education program to become more aligned with what other programs charge and remain competitive to ensure we can hire individuals as instructors. The plan called for 3 years of increases to the program fee of $75. We increased that fee last year. They increased the program fee by $72. We increased the fee last year to $650 per participant. This would be the second year we are requesting an increase. This memo serves as a request to vote to approve the new program fee as laid out in the 2023 memo by another $75 to $725 per participant for the 24-25 school year. The goal is to get the program to $800 per participant in the school year 25-26. So,
I will make a motion to accept the increases as discussed and agreed.
I'll second.
all those in favor?
Aye?
Aye. Now that we've voted, Noelle, how does it make you feel? Did you take driver's ed already?
Yeah, I did. I have my license, so it doesn't affect me.
Did
but-
you look around at other programs?
No, I didn't.
I know the ones locally here are more expensive than
Right.
this, but, all right, and so, the consent agenda just has the regular session minutes on it, so if someone wants to make a motion to approve the minutes from March 14th,
I will make a motion to approve the minutes of March 14th.
And I will second.
and then all those in favor?
Aye?
Excellent, we have, no new business. Anything else, anyone? 7 o'clock, how about that, Mr. Doolat?
Done. I will make a motion to adjourn.
I'll
Thanks,
second.
all right, all those in
Aye.
favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.